The fairy tale rise of an Australian sales executive to the upper ranks of European royalty is set to be completed later this month, when Crown Princess Mary Elizabeth of Denmark becomes the country's queen consort on New Year's Eve by the surprise abdication of Queen Margrethe II, who announced that she will be stepping down on January 14. It's an exceedingly rare move in Denmark, where a monarch hasn't abdicated since 1146, when King Erik III gave up the crown to join a monastery. According to the royal house, Margaret's eldest son, Crown Prince Frederik, will become king, while his wife, Crown Princess Mary, will become the first Australian to become queen, a development that has delighted her supporters back home. For many of Mary's Australian admirers, it's a fitting finale to a romance that famously began in a rowdy Sydney pub around the time of the Olympics in 2000. As the story goes, the two locked eyes in the slip-in, considered an unlikely place to find a Danish royal, much less the origins of a couple who would later become Denmark's future king and queen. Millions watched the couple get married in 2004. 2 decades later, their ascension to the throne is expected to captivate audiences worldwide, from Copenhagen to the Tasmanian capital of Hobart, where Mary was born. Tasmanian Premier Jeremy Rockliff said in a statement on Monday that the state could not be prouder of Crown Princess Mary. With her demonstrated humility, grace and kindness, I am sure Crown Princess Mary will be embraced as queen alongside her husband, King Frederik. Once proclaimed later this month, Rockliff said, "I look forward to watching the next generation and Tasmania's own born queen lead Denmark's future." For the most part, Queen Margrethe's New Year's Eve speech covered the familiar territory of a monarch, summing up the highs and lows of the year just past. She touched on the tragedy of war, of innocent lives lost in Gaza, the spread of anti-Semitism, and the importance of Denmark's support for Ukraine. She spoke about climate change, the challenges of artificial intelligence, and the pride she has in her grandson, Prince Christian, who has just turned 18. Then the monarch turned to her own life and how recent successful back surgery had given her cause to think of the future. More specifically, she said she considered whether now would be an appropriate time to pass on the responsibility to the next generation, and she concluded that now is the right time. On the 14th of January 2024, 52 years after I succeeded my beloved father, I will step down as Queen of Denmark. I will hand over the throne to my son, Crown Prince Frederik, Margrethe said. The announcement temporarily paused New Year's celebrations in Denmark as royal correspondents rushed to fill in the gaps. Nobody knew. Mary was born in 1972 to a Scottish mathematics professor and a British executive assistant, according to her official biography. She started her education in Houston, Texas, before moving back to Hobart to attend school and university. Mary's introduction to the working world included stints as an advertising executive and travel around Europe before she landed a role with a Sydney-based property firm. It was there that she met Frederik, a young Danish prince who she'd later marry, at Copenhagen Cathedral in a lavish ceremony televised worldwide. Her children followed, including Prince Christian, now next in line to the throne. Aside from being praised for her pose and fashion sense, Mary has gained a following for her staunch commitment to social causes through the Mary Foundation, established in 2007. She's a fierce advocate for the sexual rights of women and girls. She's a fierce advocate for refugees, so she's proved her worth as a serious role model and leader in Denmark, and I think Australia can be very proud of the sort of royal she has become, said Reedon. Trips home typically generate local headlines, but not all have been welcome. Late last year, media worldwide carried stories of Prince Frederik's alleged romance with Mexican-born actress Genoveva Casanova. Casanova issued a statement vehemently denying the claims and threatening legal action against lecturers, the Spanish magazine that published images of them on a night out. The royal house hasn't commented. I think that was probably an annoyance. One of those never complain never explained scenarios from the Danish royals. Nothing happened as far as they were concerned. When the new generation of Danish royals ascend to the throne, there'll be none of the pomp and pageantry that accompanied the coronation of Britain's King Charles III last May. Details have not been confirmed, but the royal house says Queen Margrethe will abdicate at the Council of State, an advisory body for the monarchy. Reading says on January 14th it's likely the new king and queen will appear on the balcony of Christiansborg Palace with the Danish Prime Minister, and perhaps also wave from Amalienborg, the royal family's official residence in Copenhagen. We will see Mary and Frederick on the balcony with all of their family around them. This will present the new modern monarchy of Denmark. I think it's going to be a very powerful image that is likely to increase interest in Mary in Australia. Putting the princess on the cover of the Australian Women's Weekly magazine typically leads to higher sales. She's a very popular cover star, so I think that popularity can only increase now. She is to become a queen.